and it is about your dynasty, your prestigious Von Erich family. Fabricio, vamos contigo.
Guys, and Michael, so thank you guys. I'm so excited to share this moment with you, with amazing superstars. I mean, it's a great honor. My first question is the next one. So how does it feel part of the prestigious Von Erich dynasty?
Yeah, you know, when we grew up, it's all we ever knew. You know, my grandfather was in the business, all of my uncles and my dad. So my earliest memories are just being in dressing rooms and going to shows with my dad and wrestling with my dad and cheering for him at the matches. And so, you know, it's all we've ever known, you know, but we're nothing but grateful and happy for this opportunity we have.
The day that it really hit us was when we actually started wrestling. But before that, it was all we knew. We were raised in locker rooms. But then when we started wrestling and performing, that was when we realized what our uncles and our grandfather, all the blood and sweat they put into the business. And, you know, and we just want to honor that by trying as hard as we can.
So let me translate that to Spanish. Ross y Marshall mencionan que ellos crecieron dentro de la industria de la lucha libre. Ellos ya estaban en los camerinos desde que eran unos niños. Bueno, obviamente son los hijos de Eric Von Erich. Discúlpame, de Kevin Von Erich y su abuelo, Fritz Von Erich. Los Von Erich tienen una familia enorme de luchadores. Son muchas personas, tíos, su papá, su abuelo, todo el mundo eran parte de esta dinastía increíble que todo el mundo creció viendo, y ellos crecieron viendo eso, viendo como sus abuelos, como su abuelo, como su papá, como sus tíos derramaban sangre, sudor y lágrimas por levantar esta industria de la lucha libre. So guys, as I mentioned, your dynasty is something really prestigious inside the pro wrestling industry. And what's the importance of the Von Erich dynasty? But furthermore, what can you tell us about that solid territory of pro wrestling your family run for a while? Do you have any memories from that time?
He's got more memories of it. I got a few memories of my Uncle Kerry, but since I'm the young, handsome one, he's got the more memories, I think.
You know, my grandfather, he tried so many things. He was it was a fireman, he was a dental assistant, you know, he's tried everything. And then he
played in the NFL,
football. And then you know, wrestling came about. He got involved with wrestling and turned out being one of the hottest you know, territories, you know, in all of wrestling.
The sportatorium in Dallas was the start of everything for our family. And you know, my grandfather, he was already wrestling, but he realized he had 5 sons that were good athletes, football players, basketball players. And he, you know, he wanted to, they all loved and enjoyed watching my grandfather wrestle. But at the time, my grandfather was a bad guy. And so they said at school, they'd get in fights all the time because his dad was a bad guy on TV. And so it made them stick close together as brothers. They were all each other had. And then, you know, it's as they got older, I think my Uncle Dave was actually the first one. My dad started, he had the debut first, but then my Uncle Dave continued to wrestle while my dad played football. And then they all came in, they brought my Uncle Kerry in, and then it was just, you know, magic from there.
So let me translate that part to Spanish. Marshall le dice a Ross que él es el hermano joven, él es el hermano más guapo, por lo que Ross tiene un poco más de memorias de la situación. Y menciona obviamente que tienen esas memorias de estar en Dallas, en el territorio de su familia, que en un momento dado estuvo extremadamente caliente. Y pues mientras unos jugaban fútbol, otros luchaban y así sucesivamente, pero Fritz teniendo tantos hijos tan talentosos y estos hermanos se encargaron de levantar el territorio y convertirlo en lo que todos conocemos, que era el prestigioso territorio de Dallas, de los Von Erichs. Fabricio, vamos para la próxima pregunta. Fabricio is going to be asking the next question.
Perfect translation. I understood all of it.
Do you really understood, or are you joking with us?
Yeah, but no, I don't.
We take your word for it. Yeah,
I trust you.
Thank you.
So, guys, the next, do you have any history while growing up seeing your family in action as a wrestler? If you, what histories can you share with us?
For me, I remember always being in the dressing room with my dad, and I'd see him tape his wrist. And so I would always want him to tape my wrist. And then I'd stay in the dressing room the whole show until my dad or one of my uncles came out, and then I would go out there and tell everybody, that's my family, that's my dad. And nobody believed me. And you know, I just remember, I was really young at the time, but I just remember the feeling of going to shows and then leaving and everyone crowding around the car, banging on the windows. And you know, it was just a cool experience as a kid. Very cool.
My dad, my oldest sister, she was really little, and they had to my dad would put her in a suitcase to leave the venue because he's worried about her, and she would want to ride in the suitcase as they ran to the car. and so that was her way out.
So let me translate that part to Spanish. Fabricio le pregunta entre las múltiples historias que tienen como parte de la familia Boneri con su papá, con sus tíos, como parte de esa prestigiosa dinastía. Y Ross menciona que en su tiempo lo que él hacía, y recuerda que le ponía el tape o la cinta adhesiva en las muñecas a su papá, al igual que él quería que su papá le pusiera el tape en el área de las muñecas o la cinta adhesiva. Al igual que eso, menciona que pusieron a su hermana Marshall dentro de una maleta en una historia extremadamente graciosa.